For our first story, we have Mike, female 19, biological mom is 35. My dad is male 45. Words cannot express how I am. Link, you do the math. You'll see that my bio mom was 16 and my father was 26 when I was born. I never knew this. So I'm really disappointed at the moment. I never really knew my mom. She and my dad split when I was 3 and the memories I have of her are very distant. My dad remarried when I was 6 to my stepmom, female 42, and together they had 3 more kids. In my household, it was no step or half, we were simply just family. Did I ever wonder about my bio mom? Yes and no. I was raised in a tight-knit home, so I never felt like I was really missing something because my stepmom also raised me, but I sometimes wondered about the woman who I'm supposedly a carbon copy of. My dad rarely talked about my mom. From what I knew, they got married when they found out she was pregnant, and she left. I reached out first and we met up for the first time last week. I was so nervous. I felt like I made a mistake, but she explained to me her story. My mom was a troubled teen and she left home. She and dad met when my mom was 15, shortly after she ran away from home. He offered her a place to stay, and it wasn't long before they started a relationship. She said that she was miserable at the time. She didn't want to baby me, she didn't want to be married, and she realized she made a mistake. She said the marriage was so bad, and it was really unhealthy. So one day, at the same exact age I am right now, she left. She moved back home and restarted her life. I'm so angry. I'm so angry about so many things. I was groomed when I was 14 by an adult and luckily my dad caught the situation fairly early before any serious damage could happen. The way my dad handled it was amazing, yet it turns out he is the same exact person I escaped. And also, I'm regretting meeting my mom. I keep dodging text messages, which isn't fair as I'm the one who reached out to her, but I'm regretting it. Why did I find it necessary to meet a person that didn't go looking for me? It wasn't what I thought it was going to be. I don't know how to process this wave of emotions. How do I? The person that I usually go to for advice on things is my dad, but what can I do now that I can't even go to him? I've been doing well, you know? I've been in therapy since my early teens, but as of 2 years ago I've been doing so well. Now, it feels like I'm in a rut. It feels like I'm mad at everyone and all the angry emotions are just piling on. How do I process everything? That's the end of our first post. Let's see what the commenters had to say. Our first commenter says, "Whoa, honestly this is therapy level stuff. This is really messed up. It's okay to dodge calls ATM. You need time to process. Did your dad know you were getting in contact and meeting with your bio mom?" Our second commenter says, "Firstly, I'm so very sorry you're going through this right now. I'd suggest doing additional therapy sessions if you can while you try to process everything. This is a lot, and anyone would struggle dealing with this. I would suggest avoiding making any decisions about your mother right now. Perhaps you could just text her and tell her you're overwhelmed and asked if you can have some space right now. If you think you may want to pursue a relationship with her, you could just ask her to give you a bit of time before you get in touch with her when you're ready." Our third commenter says, "I'm actually in a similar situation as you, except I never knew my dad. My mom was 16 when she had me, 15 at conception, and my dad was 26. She never talked about him much. In fact, I was always told he didn't want me. 30 plus years later and I'll always have it in the back of my mind that regardless of whether or not my mom wanted to have a relationship with him, he fully took advantage of her because of how young she was. It's gross. It's disgusting. It creeps me out. I think your mom was going through a lot when she had you. Pregnancy is so rough on your body and your mind. She was just a kid, she wasn't ready. I know you must feel hurt, abandoned, unwanted, and like she gave up on you, but I think she probably did what felt right in the moment. 16-year-olds shouldn't have kids. Period. You have a right to choose whether or not you want a relationship with her, but living the life I've lived and knowing what I know now, I would say to maybe give her another chance. It doesn't have to be now. Think on it and give it some time before deciding you want to cut her out forever. At the end of the day, no matter what good things your dad has done now, he still very much did a terrible thing by getting your mom pregnant at such a young age." For our second story, we have GF, 24 female, punched me multiple times so I, 25 male, punched her back. Now I am the bad guy? We had an argument and were talking and she got upset. I got up to get water and she followed me and started pushing me. I told her to stop and she continued and kept talking. She punched my arm and started digging her nails and I told her to F off and she said I was being rude and not answering her. I told her I don't care and she has to stop scratching me and she punched my arm again. I responded by punching her arm back and she started crying. She said I'm a horrible man because I am stronger than her. Fair enough, but I warned her multiple times. And I didn't hit her because of anger issues or because of the fight. I only did it because she wouldn't leave me alone. She said I'm a lot bigger than her and she's too small to cause pain. Sure, her punches are painless, but she broke the skin on my arm with her nails. There's a bunch of red marks. I did not even punch her with all my actual strength. That's the end of our second post. Let's see what the commenters had to say. Our first commenter says, "You need to get out of this relationship unless you want to end up in handcuffs. Not even playing. Your relationship is now abusive and toxic. Get it together and leave." Our second commenter says, "Domestic violence is an absolute deal breaker, no matter what gender." Our third commenter says, "You should not be in a relationship where non-consensual physical violence between partners is acceptable. She's going to get you in some real trouble someday." For our last story, we have update: wife, 41 female, recently reconnected with an old friend, 44 male, and spending a lot of time with them. How do I handle this appropriately? This is an update to a previous post I made. Here, link. Still get DMs here and there, so I thought I'd give everyone some closure on this. Nothing too exciting. TLDR: wife, reconnected with an old friend and is spending a ton of time with him. We fought, shit's weird now. So after she ran off to meet him at some bar, she came home around midnight. I was still up as I was watching something on TV, looked over at her, and she looked unsure. She sat down at the end of the couch where I was sitting and said she's sorry she got so angry. She met with him and they talked about the situation. Apparently, he told her that I am right and that it is weird they're spending so much time with each other. And she called a few friends to talk and get their opinion. They mirrored the same sentiments, that it's hard not to think of this as having at least an emotional affair. To be honest, I was still beyond pissed. And to hear that she only came to realize it when other people told her it was inappropriate, not just me, wasn't helping. She explained that she is learning something from him that is giving her a new lease on life, and to her, it's like a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to finally start contributing financially and acquiring the skills to generate a bigger income. He is apparently a quite successful day trader, and has been teaching her and a group of other people how to day trade in extreme detail. She insisted she show me what she was doing, so I let her chew my ear off for an hour about day trading, looking at her programs, charts, indicators, and all that, ranting about financial markets, etc. She's learned trading with leverage and stuff I have no clue about, but it amazes me that a woman who is too ADHD to read boring government forms and gets overwhelmed with simple adult stuff like communicating with municipalities or banks and hates math is diving headfirst into something as complex as crypto day trading. Still, she seems surprisingly knowledgeable about all this, and knowing how long it takes her to grasp things she's not interested in, I was impressed. And she was still defiant about the whole spending inappropriate amount of time stuff. I told her she needs to cool it with the contact, but I won't stand in her way learning something that she feels is a major opportunity for her. We agreed on ground rules. No evenings or weekends, no phone calls past 6 p.m., and number one-on-one meetings, only group settings. She's been stretching these rules every now and then, but largely kept to them. When she needed to bend them, she speaks to me beforehand and gives me ample of heads up, but hides her resentment of having to follow these rules. Still, she seems to want to keep the peace for now and is being proactive. Things have cooled down to a degree where I don't get angry anymore anytime she mentions him. Anyway, other than that she now thinks she's a pro and a future millionaire and constantly talks about trading, it's been bumpy for other reasons outside of this weird friendship. Her trading talk is annoying as shit and I still think she's got a little crush on her big trader hero. I have grown a bit distant in the last couple months because this whole situation emotionally drained me, but we are keeping things going. I know this is not the dramatic cheating and infidelity story some people were expecting. It's a pretty severe, rough patch in an average normal people relationship. She's not cheating on me physically, I think she might have a crush, which happens in a long-term relationship. And I have other shit to deal with at the moment that I just can't expend the energy to obsess over this every day for hours or fight this into a dramatic my way or the highway conclusion. I don't want to blow our marriage up just to satisfy other people's personal convictions on how a relationship should be like. It's shit right now, but it's our shit. My instinct tells me it's a passing fancy, and if things go sideways still, I can always walk out. This will be my last and only update. That's the end of our last post. Let's see what the commenters had to say. Our first commenter says, "Dude, you're about to have a worse problem than your wife cheating on you. She's about to fucking blow all your money." Our second commenter says, "Financial professional here. If she insists on trading, keep it to what you can comfortably afford to lose. I've spent over 40 years on Wall Street, from the NYSE floor to trading desks to retail brokerage. Of the hundreds of people I covered and worked with, only a very small percentage were able to make a living day trading. Most of them went bust in a short period of time. Oh, and she is still having an EA with him and pushing boundaries." Our third commenter says, "Update me when she blows all your savings." That's all for today. If you enjoyed, please leave a like and subscribe. Thank you, and have a wonderful day.